Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Today marks the final session of our current OECD Speaker Series, Communicating the Public Finances. It is the end of the season. But for today, we have a fantastic final session. If we want to build public legitimacy for fiscal decisions, we need to know how to talk to younger citizens who increasingly rely on digital and social media. To help us understand how to do that, we are joined by María Camila González and Valerie Cifuentes. They are award-winning financial journalists from Colombia who have previously reported for Bloomberg and Forbes. Today, they are authors of a new book and the co-founders of the digital media platform Economia para la pipol. They have managed to do exactly what many governments struggle to do: make economics and financial news clear, relevant, and appealing for a young audience. We are very much looking forward to hearing from them both and how they achieved this. Thank you both for being here, and I hand over the floor to you now. So please go ahead. It's a great pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you all for inviting us. Hello, my name is María Camila González, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Economia para la People. And we're so happy to be here in this speaker series. And I'm here with Valerie Cifuentes, as John said. She's an editorial director and also co-founder of Economia para la People. So let's just start with a question. When was the last time a young person outside your institution understood and genuinely cared about a tax reform? Please don't think about a student of economics, not a junior analyst or someone with no professional reason to care, a relative, just a neighbor, a stranger on the internet. So for most of us working in public finances or financial journalism, that moment is hard to remember because it rarely happens. And that gap between the decisions made inside ministries and the people those decisions affect every day is exactly what we want to talk about today. So this is a problem that the disconnect between citizens, especially young ones, and public finance is not a Colombian problem. It's a global one. So when people do not understand how public budgets work, who pays taxes and why, or how fiscal policy shapes their daily lives, and they are left without clear information, of course, that space gets filled with misinformation. So we saw this happen in real time in Colombia. In April 2021, the Colombian government introduced a tax reform aimed at raising revenue to cover the social economic debt left by the COVID-19 crisis. And in that moment, that the reform had good things. Many experts agreed on that, but it was introduced at the wrong moment. And it was not communicated well. Like journalists struggle to understand what is the tax reform about. And the result, false information spread rapidly through WhatsApp chains. I don't know if you people, receive a lot of this fake news information or misinformation through WhatsApp, but it's pretty common here in Colombia and also in Latin America. So people took the streets, some with legitimate complaints, other protesting measures that were not even in the reform as written. The protest lasted nearly 2 months, and this was not just a communication failure. It was a symptom of a deeper problem. Public finances had never been made accessible to the people it was supposed to serve. And we believe that is a problem worth solving. So this is, we're gonna tell you a little bit more about the story of how it began.
Yeah, So how we build a bridge. The origin story is that in those days of the 2021 tax reform, we were both working as journalists at traditional media outlets. Between us, we had a decade of experience covering economics across print and digital. El Tiempo, Portafolio, La República, Forbes, Bloomberg Línea, and La Silla Vacía. We were writing fact-checking articles that debunk the misinformation circulating online. For example, we were writing articles for a specialized newspaper that countered the misinformation, but in Camila's family's WhatsApp group, where that false information that was spreading, nobody read our articles. That frustration was the seed of Economia para la People. From the moment we asked ourselves how to explain a tax reform in plain language to reach more people, to the moment we published our first post on social media, were only 5 days. In that time, we create the name, build the brand, open our social media accounts, and start publishing. Our first piece of content was a meme. Then came carousels and tweets. About a year later, we started producing video content. Here is the meme in Spanish, and we translated for you, so you can see how we start. So, what is Economia para la People? It is a Colombian digital media outlet that since 2021 explains economics, financial, and business news in plain language. Our main channels are social media, but also we had a podcast, our website, and a book published with Penguin Random House in 2025. Why does it work with young audiences? We make accessible what has historically been in the hands of the few: economists, policymakers, people in power. We break down technical language without losing journalist rigor. We also, of course, use humor on topics that seem serious. Memes and GIF make complex issues feel less intimidating and more shareable. We also speak from our perspective as women in economics. How does the public budget affect women? Which women are left out of the labor market? Why are women overrepresented in poverty statistics? These angles resonate with audiences that traditional financial media has long ignored. The results after 5 years in the community and reach, we have a community of over 3,000 people across all social media platforms. We have a book published with one of the world's largest publishers aimed at a young audience and designed to break the stigma that economics is boring or only for experts. According to a survey of 300 community members, our audience comes from widely diverse backgrounds: gastronomy, dance, physical education, law, alongside the profiles of economics, business, accounting, and engineering students. Also, we are reaching women. Economics has traditionally been seen as a male domain. Over these years, we have built a community of thousands of women who want to learn about economics, both to make better financial decisions in their own life and to be more informed citizens when it comes to public policy. Here is a story we always tell. We didn't make videos for Economia para la People because we didn't want, in the first years, we didn't want our other job in the traditional media outlet to cause us any trouble. But on Twitter, today X, people were saying that the content was created by men, economists, and students from the University of Los Andes, Universidad de los Andes, one of the most prestigious and expensive universities in Colombia. But we are women, journalists, and students from other universities in Colombia. This shows us that there was still a bias regarding women and the management of the economy. We work every day to ensure that these biases that do not continue. And Camila will share us some part of our business results.
So after we started Economia para la People as a side job, it was a hobby also in that moment. Then we decided to quit our jobs. And since then, that was almost 3 years ago, we have worked with over 80 organizations, multilateral institutions, private companies, universities, nonprofits, foundations, and independent initiatives. We also employ 9 people with formal contracts and dignified working conditions, and 7 of them are women. We have won 7 journalism awards, and we are ranked among the top 3 most influential content creators among Colombian opinion leaders. According to Ciprasi Conceptos, a ranking we have appeared for 4 consecutive years. And we have won also 2 grants, one with Google News Initiative and the London School of Economics to integrate AI to our journalism, which led to our chatbot that you can check in our website. And one with the Press Freedom Foundation that to extend our data and fact-checking capabilities and build a sustainability media model. So in this 5 years of working on public finances and thinking about how to break down these walls, one of the lessons that we've learned and that we want to share with you is language is either a wall or a bridge. So, and you can choose which one you build. So every institution, ministry, and media outlet makes a choice, consciously or not, about who their communication is for. So technical language shows expertise, of course, but it also limits participation. It tells people this is not for you. And we learn that making something simple does not mean making it superficial. It means choosing the reader over the jargon, of course. And that choice, repeated constantly builds trust with audiences that have historically been locked off this conversation. So language, by the way, is just not words, it's also visual. So we think a lot of design, format, color, tone of voice, and all of it communicates who is welcome.
The lesson 2 is that young people are already having this conversation, just not where you are looking. One of the most common assumptions we challenge is that young people like us are not interested in public finance. That is not true. What is true is that the spaces where these conversations happen have changed. In our content, carousels, videos, podcast episodes, we regularly see deep, substantive debates about public finance with diverse economic perspective and genuine civic engagement. The conversation is happening. It is just happening on social media, not in opinion columns, sections, or policy briefings. The question is not how to create interest, it is how to show up in spaces where that interest already exists.
So one of the lessons that we also learn is that informed citizens make better democracies, of course, and also pay more taxes. And you, of course, know more about it. And actually stand before the public policies. So this is one of the matter that matters most to the people in this room, of course. When more people understand how public budgets are built, how taxes work, and how fiscal decisions affect their lives, they become more critical and more constructive, of course, and participants in the democratic debate. And they harder to mislead. They ask better questions, they hold institutions more accountable, and the work of making public finances understandable is not a communication strategy. It is a democratic investment. So we've learned that in all these years, and we also saw that young audiences are so engaged to this topic, but this topic is not in the traditional places. It is, of course, in social media, it is on forums and all these digital spaces. And those are the places that we have to be, and that's why we do it like this. So what this means for you, the gap between public finances institutions and young citizens is not inevitable, and it is a result of choices and about language, about formats, and about how we imagine as our audience. It is not only talking to technical people, to experts, it's more than that. And in Economia para la People, we build that because we believe that journalism could close the gap. And 5 years later, we and 1,300 videos and posts, one book, 300,000 community members later, we know it can. And the question,
Yeah, the question we would love to explore and share with you is what would it look like if the institutions designing fiscal policy and the media covering it made the same bet? What do you think? We would love to find out together. So thank you for listening here our presentation. I don't know if you have any questions or want something to ask to us.
and this is the last picture of our team. And yeah, we're also kind of young, thinking about public finances. And we're here.
And mostly women, like you see there.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much, Maria Camila and Valerie.